if I can be in a space that feels authentic, that feels there's purpose, there's levity to it, like that just amps me up. But if I have to be in a space that feels that's none of those things, it might feel pretentious to me, it might feel like it's not a place. If there's a dress code, I won't go.
All right, you're listening to Leading San Diego. I'm Veronica Prandi, Executive Director of Lead San Diego.
And I'm Adrian Quintero from the David's Heart Foundation. Each episode, we sit down with LEAD alumni to explore real stories of community leadership across our region.
And today we are joined by Justin Lipford, who is the YMCA Director of Mission Advancement at the YMCA San Diego County. He's a 2019 Impact grad and the recipient of the 2019 Herbert G. Klein Award and 2024 LEAD Graduate of the Year. Justin,
Hello,
welcome.
hello.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm
Welcome.
glad to be here.
I'm glad
Thank
you're here.
you. Right on.
Cool. So let's start off with a quick warm-up question. When you walk into a room, how do you show up?
Oof. Okay, every day different. So every day is completely different. That's different mindset, different attire, different ability to concentrate and focus, different level of creativity. So every day different. But when I walk in, I put the most attention into finding my seat. I just try to go straight to a place to like get grounded, see my environment, and then from there I like lean into conversations, into greetings.
Yeah, smart. I mean, yeah, every day is different, and every event you're walking into is different. It's just, man, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, for sure though. I mean, I'm just saying like every day for me, even like my mindset, my energy
Yeah.
levels, all of that goes into.
Yeah.
So some days you might catch me like being ultra engaging. Yo, what up, what up? Others might just be, how are you doing? Right on. You know what I mean? How we living type thing.
So if every day is different, when we look back to the beginning, like if your story had a starting scene and you look back how you're showing up, you're different in every way you show up. But where does it begin? Where does your scene and your story start?
I think for me, it's my first job within the social services nonprofit industry. I was roughly 21, 20 years of age, coming into a brand new world, a brand new system, a brand new way of being, a brand new degree of professionalism and all of that. And just seeing like, hey, I like this environment. What does it take for me to be successful in this environment? And really with that mindset, as I move forward, I would adapt, shape and shift, be able to meet what I felt that environment needed for me. But that's where it all began. I mean, that's what put me on game as it relates to social services.
That's cool. And in that area specifically, I know a little bit about your story. Like coming up in the South Bay and coming up in community, what did growing up there teach you about, what you knew community to be or what the people in that environment needed,
Yeah. You know, my not only in my professional career, right, but like you're saying, growing up, virtually all my memories I reflect on are engaging with people in different environments, in different atmospheres, different tones, and so in all of those memories, when I look back, what I see is just like engaging with people, uh, being in very tense situations, whether it was just stuff aimed around like loss and pain, right, or being in really joyous situations around celebrating, Chargers going to to the Super Bowl, Padres going to the World Series, right? Like being in those environments,
As a true
right?
San Diegan would.
Yeah, for sure, right? But what that's always kind of shown me though is that when I show up in my most like authentic self in that moment, then the other people I'm around also do. And when we're all in that kind of a space, when we're in that space, the best things happen. And that's what community has shown me is like, how can we all show up our truest self with some commonality, some common goals, and in that space, great things happen.
So you talk about engaging with people from different communities and how you show up authentically. But is there someone specifically or maybe like an experience that shaped how you saw leadership when you were younger or at least early in your career?
No, I've never seen leadership show up the way I show up in my particular style.
You
I
might be
haven't.
shaping that experience for other people.
Yeah, but I definitely have seen attributes of others that I'm like, ooh, I love that, or ooh, I like how you do that, right? And I've taken all those attributes and used them as like learning lessons, But like, I think of a gentleman, kind of a local social services legend here in San Diego. His name's Paul Watson. Paul Watson had done a lot of work early 2000s here in San Diego, and he's an educator and did a lot for ensuring that education and access for community-minded young people, kids, or people that have that passion can access this education and really become professionals. Because for the most part, to get into any kind of social service industry, job, whatever, you have to have a particular degree or credentials, right? But if you're young and you're just trying to make it and you have a compassionate heart and you want a job that can allow you to exercise that, and you don't have credentials, you're kind of out of luck. You got to get a job at Foot Locker or something, right? Like you just can't go the path of your passion. Paul created that bridge to opportunity for education and for people like myself to believe not only am I great on a humanistic, I can connect with you level, but I also can bring that sharpness, that hustle, that ability to be successful in any professional environment, you know. So shout out
Mhm.
to Paul.
Yeah, shout out Paul. How have you seen those like experience? I mean, how have you seen those barriers change throughout your, I mean, I guess career, your story?
Yeah. I mean, I do see. Okay, I have seen social services evolve into multiple facets, right? And I love that. Whether it's like what I did was I worked in a section where we help young people experiencing homelessness, foster youth, incarcerated youth. All of this world is where I kind of grew up in. But now I've seen that open up to others in the before and after school settings, right? Others in the advocacy space, right? Like all these things, even marketing and communications, being storytellers. Like I've seen this and I'm like, yo, that's what's needed for our community to develop is it provides more opportunity to allow people to connect to their passions and to find hopefully sustainable income, right? Like that to me is what's needed and what the community has shown.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
So I want to dive into your lead experience because you've had a very interesting career, and then you came into lead in 2019 as our impact grad.
Right.
Like I mentioned, you received the Herbert G. Klein Award, which is voted on by the fellow classmates. So they saw in you what lead represents and the potential to continue to lead in the community, which is what that award is for.
Dope.
And you
Yeah, right.
so when you
Thank you.
demonstrated like that potential for further effect in the community. So when you think about your time in lead, what's something or a moment that really stood out to you?
Um, so lead in itself was an amazing experience. I got to start with that. Like I really have a deep gratitude for the opportunity and the experiences and the people I met. I mean, it has been instrumental in me giving me access to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, so that when I look back on that time is like boom, that access and that credibility that I was able to gain, solid. What made it all make sense was the first day during the lunchtime period and just being brave enough to be connect to people that don't look like me, don't talk like me, don't come from the same industry I come from.
Well, and I think the first day, even with adults, that first day is nerve wracking. They're
For
like,
sure,
are people
for
going to like
sure,
me? Am I
yeah,
going to
for
say the right
sure,
thing?
for
So it doesn't matter
sure.
if you're a first grader or you're coming in
Yes,
as a
that's a
seasoned
very
professional.
human thing,
It's
right?
a
Like
Like
human
first day
thing.
of school type of
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, and maybe in some stages you might have a couple homies to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right, but
hopefully.
you go in there with no one, it's tough, right? But in that realm, and someone was speaking, we broke to lunch, and just to see like who am I going to sit with type thing, and to see how welcoming everyone was, how like real everyone was, and to be in that environment where everyone's being real and open, you know that space is full of people that are trying to level up themselves.
Yeah.
So being around that energy is what I loved as well. Everyone is the best at their game. Being around that made it sick. Knowing everyone there was super cool, super open, super welcoming, made it feel like a safe place to be. And then the experiences I was able to see a helicopter, right? Be on a Navy base to see a helicopter, right? Like just see these insights.
Oh, no, we do
Yeah.
cool tours.
Yeah,
Call them
I've,
adult
tours
field
are
trips.
money. Yeah.
that's cool. That's super cool. And I feel like to your story, like with your story and the theme that you have, like when I show up, it allows others to show up as themselves as well. I think that's important to note for this network specifically of lead, right? Like you were able to show up and then I'm pretty sure you were already confident being able, but now you're accepted into this community that's like, oh wow, like I thought there was this maybe this like thing that
A barrier of sort.
yeah, like a barrier, but now you're like, oh wow, like this network is something that's added to my story and added to my thing. So
Yeah, bro.
that's really cool.
It added with the sense of self-confidence. It added with just some basic skill sets, being able to adopt some of the skills from my classmates, their way of doing things, and the network itself. That's the best. I still engage with that network to this day on meaningful work. You know, and I even said, you know, I got that award and it was dope, and I do like a little speech, whatever, And I was just speaking from the heart, but I was dead serious. I told the group, like, and I'm gonna call upon you. Like when it's time to
Yeah.
put in work, I'm gonna
But that's
call
what they're
upon
there
you.
for.
Mhm.
And everyone has been like down to this day. It's
And
pretty
I
sick.
think one of the things about leading, you shared something about your experience is that being in lead gave you the confidence that you have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
Mhm.
even though you walk into the room, you didn't know people in the different industries, but after that program, and obviously they recognize the leadership qualities in
Yeah.
you, it's like you have a seat at the table. And
Yeah.
it's not just a table that exists, you can create a larger table. So what helped that click for you?
Yeah. Um, it was when my organization, the YMCA, started to give me more responsibility, more
Mhm.
trust,
Mhm.
more access,
And this was post program.
post program,
That's
and I was
awesome.
able to see that, all right, not only is it beneficial, again, going back to that sense of credibility,
Yeah.
right? Like YMCA is a big organization, they had 5,000 employees, there's a lot going on. And when they could see and align with lead and a student that comes out of lead and give them chances, like I'm all right, cool, let's do it. Because for the most part, most of us just need a chance,
Yes.
right? It's like
Yep.
just
You
give
need
us a
someone to take a
chance and
chance
we'll
on you.
run it, dude,
Yeah. To
right?
see that in you.
But there is I mean, there's so much that goes into that. Goes back to what I learned in lead, though, is you have to have multiple perspectives
Yes.
and understand from multiple perspectives. Like we can have the greatest idea as a community serving organization. It's not just my idea, though. It's like, how will this land in the various perspectives of our community? Lead gave me that.
So fast forward today, like what does that look like
Yeah,
today?
practically, yeah. So real time, a heavy portion of what I do is fundraising, resource gathering, connection building. That is what the YMCA at the end of the day, they're like, you can do all the stuff, but this got to get done. Yeah. Right. So I fundraise for a variety of services and programs, some that are very closely related: youth mental health, youth homelessness, youth and foster care systems, some that are kind of far apart, programs that can provide employment services to young people, right? There's a correlation, but their level of need is further apart. I do fundraising right now for kids in Chula Vista that go to Montgomery Elementary School to have complete 100% access to our camps at the YMCA. So sixth grade camp, we all went to sixth grade camp, right? Shout
I
out,
still
dude.
remember it. Yep.
Yeah, sixth grade camp. These kids are in a part of Chula Vista where I grew up that is one of the most resource needy. But the school itself is amazing. This principal has done more for the school and the culture of the school and the community pride that I just get excited about. I'm like, yo, since I grew up here, you're doing great things. I work for the Y. Let's create this opportunity. First asked her, what opportunity would you see be the most beneficial? She brought up six-year camp. I was like, yo, we can get down with that. So that's one stem of what I'm doing, right? On the other hand, I just came from a collaborative where we're talking about the culture of the organization of the Y. Again, 5,000 employees, all these different perspectives. How can we ensure that what we do, what we communicate, what we say, how we put ourselves into the community's eyes is aligned with our core values? And our core values is what kind of keeps us all together, connected together. We may see things differently, because we do, but what unites us all? We're a compassionate group of people that believe in providing the best possible human services. Word. That group that I'm with provide counsel on more than anything, bro. I'm just in these groups and just making people laugh. That's
But you're making
Yeah.
people feel safe enough and welcome enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't take notes. I always get distracted. I'm looking on Instagram constantly. But in those spaces, I feel like my role is just to make everyone be like, let's chill. Let's get some work done, right? Then if I see there's some good ideas, I help people like take those ideas and put it into action, right? All these things I've learned throughout the years.
I want to talk about some of the other efforts that you led over the years. So you talked about youth homelessness, youth mental health. And specifically when it comes to youth homelessness,
Mhm.
you want to talk about your solidarity journeys,
Yeah.
so which include, and it's very impressive, a 550-mile journey to Sacramento. Tell us about that.
So Solidarity Journey is effort to raise awareness of young people experiencing homelessness. That's primary focus of what we do. And I'm saying we because it's the YMCA, but it's a collective of other providers and practitioners in our community and across our state that do this type of work. So
And was it originally your idea to get it started?
it was like a jam session idea. Like, yo, we got to do something different. No one really knows about youth homelessness. What could we do that's wild? What can we do that's fun? What are people doing? And then my job is I took all that and said, how about this? And it became Solidarity Journey. It's called a Solidarity Journey because it's an event that happens in November, the awareness month. And it's multi-days where myself and my coworker, colleague, and like my family, David Baker, go on this walk. So we'll start at one place. Every year is different. Every year is different. So we'll start at one place on the map and go to the other place. So we started off going from just the border to Oceanside. That's a span of where our services exist. Then we went from the border to Los Angeles because we wanted to show how this issue is interconnected across Southern California. Then we went from the border to Sacramento because we wanted to show the interconnection amongst the state. And then in years past, we've been including Tijuana in the journey. We start off at YMCAs and TJ that are working with young people experiencing harsh realities, right? And we'll go there and we'll start there and we'll end it. Last year, we ended at Escondido. YMCA owns an apartment complex called Transitional Living Program where young people 18 to 24 years of age experiencing homelessness can live on site for like 3 years at a time. And while they're there, they get support. So we do this journey. And as we do it, we move across, from point A to point B on the map. We'll spend the night at different YMCAs. We'll be sleeping in the basketball court of Jackie Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like we're sleeping in there. The janitor's like cleaning up. It's hilarious, right? We'll stay at all these different places. And as we stop at places, we'll have community rallies. So we'll invite the community, come on out. We'll have a rally. We'll talk about the issue. We do our best to be as inclusive of not only the organizations that are helping the work, but the community that live within that community. And whether it's smaller organizations or just neighborhood artists, whatever it might be, we try to share our light on them as it relates to their supporting the issue of young people in these harsh realities.
Another thing I want to talk about, and this was actually, I might be telling you this for the first time. It was in the nomination for your lead graduate of the year, but it was the work that you did for the floods of January 2024 that really severely impacted Southeast San Diego.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you were on the ground for weeks helping families and mobilizing volunteers.
Yeah. Wow. What a wild time. I mean, if shout out to those that are still impacted because that issue still
It's
exists
still
today.
ongoing.
It's
Yeah.
still an issue
Yeah.
that's happening today. But yes, if we remember a few years back, we had this what did they call it? Atmospheric river.
Atmospheric river.
Yeah, that sounds scary,
Something
right?
Pineapple River. Or something.
The pineapple. Yeah, so it poured down.
It was some of the worst flooding.
Flood
And
ever.
I think we're all born and raised San Diegans here.
Shout out.
It was
yo,
some of the
Chula
worst
Vista.
rain
Yeah.
that I've seen
Yes,
ever.
it was wild. But for the majority of the county, no problems. It rained, maybe your patio got flooded, but like nothing severe. For the southeast section of San Diego, a lot went into that area being completely devastated, right? So remember, people are like in a matter of hours, people were floating in their homes.
Yeah,
They
I remember
happened so
seeing
quick.
cars,
Cars
seeing
going down
like
Imperial.
cargo containers.
Yes.
Like I was like, oh my gosh,
Streets
this is
turned
bad.
into rivers.
It just happens so fast. So that happens. In the Southeast community, the YMCA has the Jackie Robinson Family YMCA. That's really I think it's like a cultural center for that
really
community,
is,
right?
yeah.
Lots of history, lots of connection, all that. So floods happen. Everyone knows. Let's go to Jackie Robinson. So Jackie Robinson. Shout out to my girl Anna Arancibio. She's the ED of Jackie Robinson. She's super welcoming. Just come in. We'll figure things out, get situated, and we'll wait for the response. Whoever's responsible for the response. So that was for the first couple of days. It's madness. Jackie Robinson at the time was able to raise some immediate basic needs relief, right? Be able to hook families up. We were able to just let people to stay in. We kept the place open basically 24 hours a day, just allow people to stay there. I talked to the corporate office and asked the office if I can be a part of the effort to support Jackie Robinson. They said, yes, go ahead and go. I asked Anna how I can be supportive. She said, join this kind of this community group we're putting together, like a response team.
Yeah.
Different leaders of the community. So, all right, cool. I'll be in this space. In this space, I don't know anyone except Anna. So these are all fresh faces, and for real, Southeast, up to this time of my life, I was never really connected to Southeast. My roots are in South Bay, right? Yeah. Just next door neighbors. In this space, it becomes apparent all these different needs constantly coming in. Families from all the way from Shelltown to Spring Valley, that whole corridor flood devastated. So we're taking in information. We're having to become connectors to the city officials, to the county officials, to the feds.
So you helped lead the response efforts.
My role was to be someone in there and tell jokes, dude. I'm going back to telling jokes. I'm telling you, there's something to this. I don't know why they
I
pay
think
me.
we see what your role is.
But I'm in the space listening and just finding how I can be of immediate use. And once that role presented itself, I just fully took it on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I point out that no pre-existing relationships.
Yeah,
And that's
but you can
important
go in
to
there and
say.
create them.
Yes.
I think that's a pattern you've kind of touched on
Yeah.
a number of times. You
Yeah,
show up in these
that's
spaces.
it. That's it. I
It
mean,
must be the jokes. It's got to be the joke. No, I'm just kidding.
I think, I do think there's something to being able to be funny in a moment, right?
Yeah.
Even when I'm not funny, it's like still funny.
I mean,
so.
especially people being around people and their spirits being lifted based off of the jokes or whatever, because we're coming around tables talking about some pretty
heavy
serious,
stuff, yes.
serious stuff.
Constant stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thick trauma everywhere.
Mhm.
No one has answers. No one has answers.
Yeah.
There's no official in that room that has an
Yeah.
answer. Neighbors terrified. A lot of neighbors having nothing to go back to.
Mhm.
Like being in that space was wild.
Yeah.
But to be able to get like, all right, yes, but what's the next step?
Yeah.
What can you do? What can you do? All right, we need to get some volunteers. Let's utilize our social media and activate the community. Had all these different like local influencers come in. Everyone felt like they were contributing. And I think that that's the best space is when people feel like they can contribute with their gifts and their talents. Like, people just mobilize.
Come together
quickly,
collectively.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as much of a hardship as that time was, even for like, we had, my family was personally impacted in a very, very bad way as well. Despite all of that, looking back on that time, I was like, dude, that was the use of every single skill set I had to be able to be successful in that environment. Like everything. So it was the best use to my ability.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, you being able to bring really a tight-knit community together, or stepping into a new community to be able to come alongside is a lot difficult for some leaders, I feel like. And the fact that you're able to hop in there and do what you could to bring things, whether it's resources or ideas, and then to see past the problem or the situation to give hope, like, hey, we're gonna get through this together. That's amazing. And I think it also ties in with like the work that you're doing continually. Like you do these community bike rides, like you're constantly with people, not just when the problem comes. You know what I mean? You're with people, continuing to like
It's
just
a
get to
powerful
know them.
leadership practice.
You've mentioned a little bit about the bike rides and everything. Tell me a little bit more about like why is it so important to you?
I guess I'm an avid bike rider, and specifically I ride with people throughout San Diego that ride BMX bikes, and we're just connected to a community of folks that love getting on bikes, riding bikes, going either short rides or long rides, whatever it be. It's just riding, right?
Yeah.
And so
In community with each other.
It is
community with each other. Yeah.
I mean, through the lens of leadership, you know what I mean? Leadership, it is a leadership practice. You know what I mean? It is something that you are showing leadership in a different way. You know, it's
you're
not
creating it.
It's not you just having the title walking into the room. It's like you know, that's something that you're doing as a leader. So
that's
it's
a nice reflection, man. Thank you.
Bro.
I love
It's
that,
really
bro.
cool.
It feels
Like
good.
I do.
Yeah. No, but that biking has been medicine for me personally, for my family, for my community. And so I just operate with like gratitude that I found it, and I'm like, I try to get everyone on the bike, bro. Like even outside prior to our conversation, like, yo, you ride bikes? That's always my first. It's usually, where'd you grow up? And do you ride bikes?
Always ask that. I don't ask that.
Yeah. Like, those things. But I've just seen that it's the best way for me to spend time where I can use my brain the most. I'm always moving, I'm talking, I'm synthesizing all kinds of information. I'm having fun, jumping off curbs, just living free on a bike, bro. It's the best thing. And I find people, when they do that, they just fall in love too. And you're able to access, for the most part, their childhood. And you're in your childhood, you're just feeling a little more loose and a little more willing to participate. And then from a business side, when those relationships happen, then it's even easier to call and be like, yo, I have this thing happening. Would you be interested in investing in it? So yeah, that's what biking's been for me.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So I want to kind of jump ahead. Like when you said you look at it as a childhood, but when you say about where you are today, you're where you see yourself or thought you would see yourself as a young professional. You get to be creative and create these experiences that aren't traditional leadership. You get to lead with compassion, create a space where people feel safe, that trust building. And these are all to improve opportunities or conditions for your community. And you get to be 100% authentically you while you're doing it. And like you said, you didn't have someone growing up that you could look at and say, I want to be that. But you're creating that for other people now, for the next generation of coming in. So when we think like authentic leadership and showing up, what does that mean for you?
Well, everything you just said was super cool to hear. Again, that's a great reflection. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want
that's
the
what we
audio of
see.
this. Yeah.
You will get this out of you.
Yeah. I love it. I do think I'm extremely fortunate to be able to have my job.
Yeah.
Extremely fortunate. I see it in
Mhm.
people's eyes all the time, but my friends are constantly reminding me, like, dude, what the heck? I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I just found a way to exercise compassion in a
Yeah.
way that was beneficial for whoever's connected to it. So that's
Mhm.
the angle. That's the way I try to do things. I also say that being able to constantly be in that space, that mindset, I've learned a lot about myself. I've
Yeah.
learned
Mhm.
my limits on energy. I can
Mhm.
give so much. I've learned again, like I was saying in the beginning, some days I'm like money, dude. I'm like A plus.
Mhm.
Other days I'm like a C. And if I'm a C, I'm gonna take a sick day. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm gonna take the day off from my own mental health to get where I need to be. All of that flow has really been connected to the work
Mhm.
and to the opportunities.
Mm. And it's important because you do need to be grounded and consistent in the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you're going out, you're kind of the first. A lot of people, I think, sometimes think when you're going out in the grassroots organizations, the people that are doing the work, obviously that is important.
Yeah.
But if your job doesn't get done,
Yeah.
they're not able to go out on the front lines. You
Yeah.
know
Or
what I
if you're
mean?
not
And
taking
so,
care of
yeah,
yourself,
or
Yeah.
taking care of
you're
yourself.
not
And
able to
so,
do the job to your
Yeah,
best of your
yeah.
ability.
what are, for me as a young leader too, I want to ask, like, what are the things that keep you grounded and consistent in this work? Obviously, taking the days, but what does that look like? I guess more practically,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do you have
Mhm.
rhythms? Do you have practices? Do you have
Oh
things that,
yeah, dude.
like,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Like, dude, I am a person of repetition. I need it in my life. So my breakdown, like legit, every day is wake up, same routine, exercise in the morning, like calisthenics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm,
get the right water in, the right food in, the right amount of
yeah,
coffee, all that before the kids are ready to go to school. I drop them off. I have two of
yeah,
them, so I take one to high school, one to elementary school, and then I fly off to wherever I need to go. At that point, it's always different.
yeah,
The next move is all across the county, right?
No, I see
mhm,
you everywhere.
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
just like it's that's what I love the most though,
mm,
is nothing is ever the same.
mhm,
And so it allows my type of brain to constantly be challenged to get the best out of me,
yeah,
So all of that exists. How I created that just came down to being great at every step, whatever it was, even the parts of the job I didn't like to do or I wasn't strong in, finding a way to get it done. And most of that time it was because I would ask people around me, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Right. Like, and then let me take some things off of your plate and let's like find these ways to be beneficial. Um, and so the routine got me there. The desire to continue to keep growing. I still have that. I'm 47. And I still want to climb. You know what I'm saying? I
mm,
still want to be in positions where I can take the skill set and evolve it on the next level and then
mm,
the next level until I'm done. I don't really even want to
mhm,
retire if I can stay in this kind of lane.
So you've talked a lot about of how you're showing up in the community.
Yeah.
Can you reflect back on your lead experience? How did that was that a shift in your leadership at like you were a young professional, you did your lead
Mhm.
experience and how you're showing up in the community now? Was that part of that shift?
Yeah, it was because I was around people that were already advanced
Yeah.
in their sectors, their industries. They're already advanced at advanced levels. I think I was actually, when I went to lead, I felt like I was not ready for that. I felt like, oh,
Interesting.
I
Were
need more
you
skills. I need more something. I don't know.
did you want like I want to say you sought out lead or did someone say I see
No,
someone saw it in you and wanted you
yeah,
to do the
yeah, and
program?
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Our previous CEO of the YMCA, this gentleman by the name of Barron, we would intersect a lot through work.
mm,
And my man's he's from Tennessee. I have
Mhm.
family from Tennessee, so we just clicked, dude. We just clicked, and one day he pulled me aside and told me about lead. He invited me to a graduation.
Fantastic.
mm.
Love that.
Right, I went to that. I was like, oh, dude, I got to get a suit for sure. I was
Yeah.
like,
No, you don't.
a dress, dude. I was like, oh
Nope.
my god.
Nope.
But went to that. I was like, yo, this is. I felt like I was in the most celebrated space. Like the mayor was there, right? Like all these dignitaries, like San Diego dignitaries, I'd never intersected
Yeah.
with, So I was like, all right, this is top notch. Barron sought me out. He put it in my ear. I said, dude, I'm down. There's a process. I did the process.
Mhm.
Interviewed. I didn't think I was gonna get the interview. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. Found out I got the opportunity. Being there, um, finally getting in the space, it just showed me that I can run with the bulls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can
Yeah.
run with these dudes. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it different. And I also learned that no one was really tripping that I was kind of doing it my own way.
Well,
You
I
know
think
what I'm
that's
saying?
important about leadership is there's so many different theories, so many different approaches. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a massive industry and you can read all these different books of how
Yeah.
to be a quote unquote good leader,
Mhm.
but there is no one right way. There are good themes, there are good approaches, but it's good leadership is when you make people feel welcomed,
Yeah.
you make people feel seen,
Yeah.
and you create opportunities where people can succeed. That to me is good leadership.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing.
Amen. Yeah, for sure. That's what social services taught me.
Yeah.
Like, you want to provide the best possible service. You treat people with dignity.
Yep.
You stay curious and open-minded and humble. And at the end of the day, your job is to make their request happen. And if you can't do it, to be respectful and letting them know why it can't happen. Easy. That is so applicable at the higher levels. What I will say, though, is it's the little nuances that make me me. It's how I dress. It's my hairstyle. It's the fact that I'm covered in tattoos. It's the fact that I wear shades virtually in every setting. Like, all these things are what make me feel comfortable. And I was just never sure that could live in the next level.
But I mean, and you've moved up in your career, but
Yeah.
you had a previous title that included belonging.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how did you create that space? I mean, you show up and create that space for you, which I would assume helps create that space for other people.
Yeah. I think the world of the belonging, kind of having that as a focal point and as a strategy, like, I love that. That makes sense, because I believe I subscribe to that all day long. I feel like it came in a period that was also corporatized. Is corporatized a word? We make corporate. It was like a corporate thing. Like,
Sure,
hey,
yeah, we'll make it a word. I was
feel
like, I'm
welcome,
thinking, we'll make it a word.
Belonging, like, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the YMCA at the time, they're a large corporation. They're a big business, a national, worldwide brand. But I believe that in the sincerity of their hearts at the corporate level, they wanted something to be real. And so they went in this direction. A lot of that's because of the new president we got. So Todd Tibbetts is the president of YMCA. He came in, he's like, I want this to be real. Cool. I think they look to find some real people. And honestly, like, I'm always doing everything I can to put myself in position for consideration. Like, that's part of my hustle, is I'm always wanting to be in those spaces. So, right timing, this dude is kind of down with this style. I'm trying to do this for this organization. Let's run it. And since then, this has been about 5 years. Like, we've seen more and more people step up in their own authenticity and be appreciated.
Two things I want to talk about before we wrap this up. So you're involved with other organizations. So you do all your work with the Y, but you're also involved in Outreach San Diego, then you were a founding board member of Emo Brown Foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about creating these spaces for other people, but why do you keep doing that?
And a Little League coach.
And
Eastlake Little League, shout out Royals. Let's go.
Didn't they win a world championship one year, Eastlake?
We did.
Heck
yeah,
yes.
you remember that?
Yes, I do. Celebrate myself.
Shout out Eastlake.
That's cool.
All those things, yes. So by my nature, I'm an introvert, right? Like, I enjoy.
I would
Really?
not believe that. I know.
I enjoy solitude. I'm a gardener. I have a garden. That's where you find me in my household with my family. My kids are introverts. My wife's an introvert. Like, we all enjoy being by ourselves, right? And I've been that way my whole life.
So what charges your battery?
It's both. If I can be in a space, if I can be in a space that feels authentic, that feels there's purpose, there's levity to it, like, that just amps me up. But if I have to be in a space that's none of those things, it might feel pretentious to me, might feel like it's not a place. If there's a dress code, I won't go. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If there's a dress code, I won't go.
Create your own dress code.
I don't go to families' weddings. I ain't gonna wear that. I'm gonna dress how I want to dress, right? That's my approach. So in all these spaces, it's just this curiosity of continually to feel the goodness, to have some action, to have some purpose. And not to get morbid, but, like, I'm 47. Like, that's not old. I ain't saying that's old, but that's not young. You know what I'm saying? And I've come to realize, like, life is about, you only have so much energy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to use my energy while I have it to do
Use it
some
wisely
great
while you're
things.
here.
You know what I mean? To do some fun things.
Well, Justin, I just really want to thank you for being here with us and sharing your story, and for the way that you continue to show up for San Diego with authenticity, with just the care that you show up and give back to the community. We're really lucky to have you.
Hey, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for the reflections. It made me feel good about myself. I
We will
appreciate
share
it.
the recording with
Of
you.
course.
I wanna be
Of
like,
course.
oh.
Whatever you need, a little pick me up.
But I will say thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I love getting to know you and seeing your time and the role that you have, and just to be able to see you on multiple of levels, and I'm very happy you're in that role.
Thank you.
And we're gonna get a date.
Yes, we will.
We're
Yes,
gonna
we
ride
will.
bikes.
Yes, we
We're
will.
gonna change the world together.
Let's do it.
And I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, man. Especially for the South Bay. So
Yeah.
thank you for all the wisdom you shared. One thing I'm taking away is showing up who you
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
as you lead is not separate from your title or in separate. You show up as that, and so
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
encouraged to see that you're doing that, and it's encouraging to young people as well.
Yep.
So
Right on, man.
Shaping the
thank
next
you.
generation.
All right. Thank you
All
all.
right. So this has been Leading San Diego, produced in partnership with the David Harp Foundation. Thanks for listening.